The marshals for today's ceremony, representing the class of 2016, Cassandra Abgrab and Regan Tripp. Thank you, Mr. Costa and the WHS Band, and a little bit later in the program, you will also hear from the WHS Chorus. At this time, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by the Vice President of the Class of 2015, Lauren Rodericks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the national anthem performed by Rachel Gath.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Rachel. Please be seated. Our first speaker today is a very decorated student academically, and I know how nervous I made her on Wednesday when I made the phone call to her home to deliver the good news. I've reached a point now where I get nervous when I make telephone calls because as soon as I say who I am, the person on the other end of the phone assumes it's very bad news, or they recognize my voice, which is even worse. But she has been very decorated academically, including being part of the elite group of a National Merit Commended Scholar, the salutatorian of the class of 2015, Elizabeth Broadbent.
Thank you, Ms. Tutelo. I remember in 8th grade when my peers and I were talking about the high schools we were going to attend as if we were choosing a college. We compared the prestige, the price, the bragging rights, but rarely the environment. So many of the kids around me were concerned about what looked the best. We can't go to a public school, that's clearly the worst education. I won't say this as if I'm superior. I too fell into the trap that private meant better. Then I came to Westport High School. Westport High School has shown me what a public school can be. Westport showed me that school can be exciting, challenging, lively, earnest, and humbling. It's where relationships are formed that serve as your support system for 4 years and often more. Relationships like the understanding bond between a teacher and a student, the unbreakable ties of friendship, even the exciting adventures of love. In my 4 years at Westport High School, I have experienced all of these things. I have visited teachers not just for help, but for conversation. I have made friends that I know will last forever, and I have experienced my first relationship. One may say that these are things that develop in every high school, but there are certain things I've seen during my years at Westport High that have proven how special it is. Firstly, there are the teachers. This point really applies to the entire Westport school system, but I will focus on the high school. After all, this is a high school graduation. I have never seen stronger relationships between students and teachers than in Westport. The teachers wear many hats. They have been our educators, a role which they have filled with grace and excellence. They have been our advisors. They have helped us find direction in the time in our lives when we feel so lost. Most importantly, they have been our friends. I have adored every single teacher I have ever had, with very few exceptions. The teachers at Westport High are often hilarious and always caring. They are great companions for casual conversations, emotional rants, and the occasional movie night, or rather day. I know that everyone behind me will agree that our educators are some of the best people we know. And speaking of the people behind me, let's talk about them. The student body at Westport is fantastic. I believe this comes from the environment created by the school. The people here are on the whole good people. We may have our drama, after all, we are teenagers, but it's overshadowed by kindness. Bullying happens, but it's minimal, and generally people want to make sure everyone has a friend. I have seen the people on this stage thrive. Students here will do anything for each other. We have banded together through our tragedies. We all know we are missing a student today. Sorry. My dear friend Peter should be up here. The fact that he's not has been hard on all of us, and his class has been strong. We have been strong for each other and for ourselves. In the time since Peter's death, through the grief, I have seen kindness. Students have reached out to one another to carry each other's pain. One of the few good things that came from that tragedy was in the form of a deep kindness that was revealed within the class of 2015. We care about each other. It's as simple as that. And I'm so grateful to be a part of a class that cares. But this is not a sad day. This is a joyous day. This is the day that we are told is the start of the rest of our lives. So as we go on, I want us to remember this place, remember this building, remember the faces surrounding you and the faces of the teachers and faculty in the audience. We are scattering, but we will always have a home. As we move on, drifting from the celebration and the tragedy that we have seen, I urge you to remember your home. Remember Westport High School. Thank you.
I will take just a few minutes, I promised them I would be brief, to reflect on the class of 2015. Every class that ends up on the stage always looks to make its mark, to make sure that they are remembered for something. Well, in my mind, after graduation rehearsal, I will remember you as the class that broke me. And I knew you had broken me when, about 3/4 of the way through rehearsal, I was telling them I would be handing them DeMellos instead of diplomas. So you did it. Kudos to you. But I also would like to give you a peek of the class of 2015 through some of the things I see in their senior projects. The senior project is a culminating activity where these kids pull together everything they know, all the skills they have, and talk about something that they are very passionate about. In this year's senior class, I learned about some compelling health issues, like the importance of exercise, from Alex Mello and Eric Canto. I personally think, after Mr. Westport, Eric, if you did a little more singing, we'd all feel a little bit better. Also learned from Tyler Soares about his battle, difficult, but he finally kicked the habit of cigarette smoking. Good for you. We all try to be conscious about what we eat, but Lauren Rodericks did a very nice job telling us about what a great job other countries do in monitoring their food additives, much better than the United States. And lastly, in the area of health, because it's always on the news, we learned about the impact from a very personal note from Tim Bolger. There were some social issues that were addressed, like the misconduct of athletes, as done by Chad Willard, when he talked about academic fraud at the college level, and Dan Lyles, when he talked about the criminal activities that sometimes happen among the NFL players. Savannah Gardikis took a close look at the community in terms of farming and the decline of local farming. Maggie Naversa, I have every belief that she will be taking on the injustices in the military. And last but not least, in senior projects, one that was very important to the school was the launching of the recycling project by Andrew Camara. And that is going and will continue long after Andrew graduates. But I think I want to echo what Elizabeth said about how these students feel about each other, about their teachers, and about their relationships. In the last issue of The Villager, which has grown into a 21st century newspaper, thanks to the help of many people, but in particular, Editor-in-Chief Corinne Cody. The last issue, all of them wrote about how the 4 years was over in the blink of an eye, how they've developed lasting relationships, how they knew, even on the worst days, that there was always someone they could go to. They learned about taking risks, and they learned about how much better you feel when you actually help someone. And then this year, great yearbook if you haven't seen it. Again, I have to commend Ashley Amaral for leading that charge on the yearbook. And one of the new additions was some students chose to include a quote with their picture. Some are quotes from famous people, and some are just things that are important to them and speaks about who they are. So I took that as an opportunity to model for them about taking on a challenge. I need to pay tribute to my partner in crime for the last 4 years, Mrs. Antonelli, who is retiring at the end of the month. Now, Mrs. Antonelli and I are alike in many ways, but there's one thing that we so differ in, and that's our love of content area. Mrs. Antonelli is in love with English, and especially Shakespeare. I am more of a math science type of person. So you give her a play, and she'll tell you the quotes, she'll tell you what they mean. She's making family trees about Hamlet. I would much rather take a problem of the day, a problem of the week, or ask me to balance a chemical equation in chemistry, and that's my comfort level. So for today, my final words to you will revolve around a Shakespearean quote, and I had to do some homework here. So this is what you need to do as you move on, is to take on a challenge. And the quote is one that Michaela Barcelos used in the yearbook, and it's to love all, trust a few, and do wrong to none. Now, as I did my homework, Googling this quote, I learned that the real meaning of it is, by loving people, you are opening your heart to everyone. By trusting a few, you protect yourselves. And by refusing to do wrong to anyone, you will always help to generate goodwill. Now, for the students who might not be as fond of Shakespeare as Mrs. Antonelli, what she would translate that for to you in everyday life is to love and like anybody you want. Just don't show any PDA. She would tell you, don't worry about what anyone else is doing or saying. Take care of yourself, and whatever you're thinking about someone, don't say it, don't text it, and don't put it on Facebook. So as you leave here today, you will accept many new challenges. So I am going to ask Mrs. Antonelli to stand for just a moment. She's trying to hide behind the podium here. When you leave here with the class of 2015, Mrs. Antonelli, you will both have your hands full for very different reasons. So my advice to you is to keep calm and quote Shakespeare. And my advice to 2015 is sometimes you really have to forget about how you feel and always remember what you truly deserve. Congratulations. Please welcome the Superintendent of Westport Community Schools, Dr. Anne Marie Dargan.
Good morning, honored guests, staff, parents, relatives, friends, and most importantly, Westport's class of 2015. Congratulations, graduates, on achieving your goal of graduating from your community high school. Please allow me a few minutes to give some final advice as you leave our care today. Completing your high school course of study is indeed an accomplishment. It was really not too long ago when a 6th grade education was all that a person needed. Today, success is measured partly by what you're about to receive in the form of your diploma. Now, for some of you, a high school diploma is all you'll ever need or desire to have in your academic career. For others, a community college, a 4-year college, or perhaps some specialist school, such as in a technical field, is in your future. By these measures, a high school diploma, an associate degree, a certificate, a tour in the military, or a bachelor's degree, we impute a certain amount of success. But success is also measured in our everyday lives in the manner in which we show each other respect, how we treat those less advantaged than ourselves, and the goal we set for ourselves. Success is measured by some in dollars earned or toys gained or in some other material way. But those, although somewhat important in our capitalist society, are not necessarily what proves a successful person. Take, for instance, a person working a low-paying job that offers no benefits or no prospect for advancement. That worker, simply by showing up every day on time, is a success. A person who has intellectual disabilities, who has finally mastered his or her home telephone number after 10 years, is a success. It is indeed the small steps that one takes that leads to giant strides. Those who wish to make a difference must first successfully take the first step by achieving a small, easily achievable goal that will lead to the next step, be that an idea, a blueprint, a plan, or by singing the first note of a scale. You have no doubt heard the old adage, success comes one step at a time, and you have all heard of Albert Einstein. But what you may not know about him is that he was unable to find employment, either as a physics teacher or a math teacher at the high school level, as was his hope after graduating from university. Instead, he took a job at a patent office, checking plans of devices put forward to receive patent protection. This may have been a disappointment for him, and he may not felt like a success, but it was only a temporary setback. It actually provided him time to ponder such things as, what might it be like to riding at the forward point of a beam of light? Eventually, he was able to change the scientific world and eventually that of humanity's course through history. So success is measured properly in time, or more so by our usage of time. Do we utilize our time to the benefit of the human race, or is it a detriment? That choice is what is before you. How you live your life is your choice. How you utilize the education you have been provided is your choice. How you choose respect for your fellow human being, your environment, and yourselves is how others will measure your success as a person. It is my hope that all of you will find yourselves successful in the future, no matter what your job or career path you settle on. Remember that it is those who are true to their dreams that find the most satisfying form of success. I'll leave you now with a final quote from a great author with whom I imagine you are all familiar by the name of Dr. Seuss. I quote, "You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know. You are the guy who will decide where to go." Congratulations, class of 2015. Do us all proud.
We will now hear from the WHS Chorus. the secretary of the class of 2015, Aurora White, will introduce our next speaker.
It is customary for a member of the school committee to offer congratulations to the graduating class. Please welcome the chair of the committee, Michelle Duart.
Thank you, Aurora. Good morning to all of you, and it is my honor to congratulate all of you from all 5 members of the Westport School Committee. As I prepared my speech, I looked up the definition of graduation. It reads, "The ceremony of conferring diplomas at a college or school." In this very simplistic definition, it sounds very straightforward, almost insignificant. Walk across the stage, and we hand you a diploma honoring your completion of high school. The significance of this day is far more reaching than the definition gives it credit. It is so much more profound than just the conferring of diplomas. You have completed chapter 1 of your own personal story. With the wisdom and confidence you have gained within the walls and safety of Westport High School, you are prepared to start the next chapter. This is a chapter to be written entirely in your own words. Your teachers, administrators, coaches, and parents have provided you with the pen and ink that you need to begin writing. You just need to put the pen to the paper. It's easy to follow a path that is already forged. You would essentially be writing someone else's story and not your own. Every single day, you will be faced with countless opportunities to take the easy, yet less satisfying road. By choosing this road, you are consciously taking the path of least resistance, ignoring your own passions. Let your instincts guide you and flourish, going where there is no path. Leave your own trail for others to follow. Take chances, even when it's scary, and follow your passions, even if it is not the popular choice. Allow the fire within you to guide the chapters of your life. There are no do-overs in this life, so live with no regrets. Achieve happiness, find what you love, and become an expert at it. You can make a living doing anything if you become an expert in your field. And if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. As said by someone who has forged her own path to success and written her own pen and ink story, J.K. Rowling said, "It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default." Go out into the world and make us proud. Take chances, forge new paths, become an expert in whatever you choose, and you will achieve success. Congratulations to the Westport High School class of 2015.
This morning, as the students were lining up in the gym, I could not help notice the graduation cap of the next speaker. On the top, it says Hillary 2016. Knowing her as I do know her, I have no doubt as I look at some of these smaller children that one day one of them will be walking across the stage with a cap that says Rachel 2026, 28, 30, whatever the year will be. I have no doubt about it. She has served 4 terms as class president here and has certainly been involved in a long list of activities of which she should be very proud. I present to you the president of the class of 2015, Rachel Gath.
Thank you, administrators, faculty, staff, and family members for joining us today to celebrate the graduation of the class of 2015. I'm deeply humbled and honored to be part of this class, so much so that I spent a very long time staring at a blank computer screen trying to figure out what I wanted to say. So in the tradition of commencement addresses, I'd like to start with the words of someone else. Ari Penavici said, "Graduation is only a concept. Graduation is only a concept. In real life, every day you graduate. Graduation is a process that goes on until the last day of your life. If you grasp that, you will make a difference. Today is a milestone in our lives, but tomorrow, next week, and a year from now, we will be evolving and continually changing on our journey to self-realization. While today is an end to high school, it is the start of the rest of our lives. When I think about my class, I think about social activists, entrepreneurs, artists, doctors, musicians, writers, photographers, scientists, teachers, philosophers, and so much more. President Barack Obama said, "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." It is never too late to be who you want to be, to change who you are. I hope you grasp everything life has to offer. I hope you see things that startle you, meet people with different points of view, and I hope you're proud of the life you're living. And if you're not, I hope you're brave enough to change it all and start all over again. Now is our time to innovate, our time to create, and our time to explore. A lot of people tell me that in 20 years from now, I'm gonna go to a high school reunion and laugh at how stupid I was when I was a teenager. And I say that sounds like a pretty great plan. As teenagers, we make mistakes. We fail, we try again, and we get better at it. That is the process of learning. It's okay to rejoice our accomplishments, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure because we learn from it. There is a notable absence when I look at this stage, and that absence is our class member, Peter Habib. But I think you guys can all agree with me when I say that he is very much here with us today, and he is very much part of our class. This last year has been life-changing. We've made decisions that will impact and shape the rest of our lives. Professor Dumbledore said it best when he said, "It is our choices that show us who we truly are, far more than our abilities." I hope you choose to turn a blind eye to expectations and follow your passion, no matter the risk. As we go forth today, remember this is only the start of our journey, wherever they may take us all. Congratulations to my class. Deuces.
Our final speaker today will be the #1 ranked student. And yes, you will have the last word at the microphone, Elliot. He has also enjoyed 4 years of being the top-ranked student in the class. But Elliot being Elliot, he always has to ask me every once in a while, "Where am I? Where am I?" And my answer is always the same. Unless you are planning an academic disaster, nothing is going to change that. But I think we both agreed that if he did experience an academic disaster, there would be plenty of people that would have a much greater concern than I would. So it is my pleasure to introduce for the final time the valedictorian of the class of 2015, Elliot with 1T Drabble.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for being here today. I first want to give a shout out to my family, especially to my parents, because without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. I also want to thank the staff for putting up with all of us for 4 long years and for being much more than just teachers to many students. Being valedictorian, and therefore proving that I'm constantly trying to show that I'm better than everyone else, I'm going to one-up Miss Tutelo and her memorization of her graduation speech by having this speech be completely improvised. This paper is just a prop. Sorry, Ms. Tutelo, maybe next year. Since I know how eager everyone is to enter into the real world, I'll try to keep this short. As ridiculous as it may seem to try and one-up Ms. Tutelo, it seems that somewhere along the line, it became acceptable for students to compare themselves to others and constantly try to one-up each other. From experience, let me just say that's the absolute wrong thing to do. It is far more rewarding to succeed for your own good, not exclusively to feel like you're better than someone else. students tend to corner themselves into unhealthy competition where they push themselves to their limits, not for their own benefit or knowledge, but to do better than others. This behavior breaks apart classes and friendships alike. However, Westport's different. Rather than our class being segmented into 87 people who all happen to go to school together, we are instead brought together by countless shared experiences which are unforgettable. Whether it be the feeling of accomplishment of derailing a classroom conversation into a who can tell the best story from Mr. Dean's class, or the despair of a 7:36 late slip as your third tardy, which I have about 5 of. The class of 2015 has, together, been through countless ups and downs. And of course, this wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about Peter. There's no doubt from anyone in this room that he would be up in the front row on this stage today, if not where I'm standing right now. The way that everyone sympathized for our class as a whole, not exclusively for a certain set of people, really solidified to me the idea that our class is one family. So, as we take our last steps out of the school today and into the real world of drastically new people, college, or the workforce, I ask of everyone to remember the sense of unity of being up on this stage, surrounded by a class of people who, despite whatever problems or differences may arise, genuinely care for each other. Thank you.
Mrs. Antonelli and I will now recognize the top 10.
The top 10 students of Westport High School class of 2015. Number 10 is Samantha Sylvia. Number 9 student is Aurora White. Number 8, Rachel Gath. The number 7 student, Brittany Aruda. Number 6, Caitlin Fisher. At number 5 in the class is Jacob Mingola. Number 4, Samantha Medeiros. Number 3, Danielle Simos. The number 2 student of the class of 2015 is Elizabeth Broadbent. And the number 1 student is Elliot Drabble.
We will begin now to award diplomas. I invite Mrs. Duart, the superintendent, and Mrs. Fallows, who will be helping me out. It will take us about a minute just to get situated.
We now present to you for their diploma the class of 2015. Elliot Charles Drabble. Elizabeth Neshla Broadbent. Rachel Beverly Gath. Danielle Amanda Simos. Samantha Megan Medeiros. Jacob Elias Mingola. Caitlin Fisher. Brittany Nicole Aruda. Aurora Sky White. Samantha Lynn Sylvia. Lauren Victoria Rodricks. Alexis Afonso. Daniel Pont Almeida. Jennifer Elizabeth Alves. Ashley Marie Amaral. Lorianne Chloe Andoya. Mitchell Noversa. Ashley Dawn Francoeur. Ready? Casey Mark Petrazik. Allison Carrero. Michaela Lima Barcelos. Alyssa Bedard. Megan Betancourt. Miranda C. Blake. Timothy Paul Bolger, Jr. Adam Merrill Braga. Rebecca Butler. Virginia Callahan. Andrew Augustine Camara. Eric Michael Canto. Miles Atkins Carey. Chad Michael Carvalho. Cassidy Marie Sestodio. Joseph Ryan Clayton. Casey Marie Costa. Corinne Amber Cody. James Danis. Vanessa Emily DeMello. Gabrielle Dias. Thomas Enright. Kiana Brooke Estrella. Molly Fallon Fellows. Nicholas Fernandez. Rogerio Ferreira. Savannah Gardikis. Megan Elizabeth Gibson. Alix Guignon. Tiffany Gonzalez. Megan Hall. Cole Andrew Hebert. Amber Cutt. Peter LaLiberty. Dylan Michael Lambert. Paul Charles Lavoie, Jr. Audrey Jade LaRue. Daniel Lewis Lyles, Jr. Francesca Maltempi. Kylie Patricia Maku. Stephen Dennis Marat. Ryan James Martell. Cassidy Martins. Cheyenne Mazzarella. Amber Lynn Medeiros. Corinne Renee Medeiros. Roger Medeiros. Sophia Raquel Medeiros. Alex Gonzalez Mello. Alana Nadu Peters. Raymond Nuwola. Maggie Lynn Naversa. Heather Pacheco. Cara Elizabeth Peliquin. Vanessa Elizabeth Pereira. Kiana Lee Petrazik. Ryan Michael Raposa. Sophia Gail Ritano. Julia Riley.
Don't move yet.
Ashton O'Shaughnessy Rock. Lyle Alexander Rosa. Robert Shaw. Timothy Allen Ferreira Sylvia. Taylor Marie Soares. Tyler Michael Soares. Kara May Souza. Diane Helen Welch. Nicole Wilding. Chad David Willard. Haley Elizabeth Yerid. Congratulations to the class of 2015.
For the class of 2015, today's ceremony would not be complete until every member is recognized. At this time, I invite Mr. and Mrs. Habib to the stage. I think the yearbook summed it up best in its dedication to Peter, in loving memory of Peter Habib, a great bringer of joy, arguments, and bow ties. Please be seated. We will conclude today's ceremony with the official moving of the tassel. I invite Mr. Pacheco to come forward. And then once that is done, the students will be exiting the auditorium. And again, I ask that you remain seated until they have all left.